surprisingly easy to overlook some of the most important new mechanics and changes in Horizon Forbidden West, even if you're a Zero Dawn veteran. And that can definitely be frustrating. For example, weapon techniques are really important for increasing your damage output, but the game doesn't really emphasize this. Weapon techniques are a new type of unlockable skill, one of 4 different types of skills in fact, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But for almost all the different weapon classes, you'll be able to unlock 3 different weapon techniques, each of which will either give you a simple way to deal more damage or add new functionality to your weapon. For instance, the focus shot weapon technique for sharpshot bows boosts the damage of any shot by 30%, and the penetrating rope weapon technique for rope casters allows them to operate as they did in Zero Dawn, attaching ropes with a simple tap fire. To use a weapon technique, first make sure the one you want is selected in the weapon wheel. Then you simply aim like normal, but instead of hitting the R2 trigger to fire, you'll now hit the R1 bumper. On a keyboard, you'll need to use the dedicated weapon technique keybind instead of left clicking. It's also really important to keep in mind that weapon techniques are fueled by stamina, which is this gold bar in the bottom right. Managing stamina is critical in the combat loop. Even double and triple notching, which could be done for free in Zero Dawn, now cost a bit of stamina. You shouldn't need them all the time, but stamina potions can be really helpful when you're running low, and you'll need Vigor Stem to craft those, which you'll randomly get while picking medicinal berries and other plants. So even when you have enough berries, you always want to be picking more to stock up on Vigor Stem. The extra berries will just be sent to your stash, so they aren't wasted, and you'll need lots of extra berries anyway to craft cleansing potions, which are super useful for clearing status effects on Aloy. You should always carry at least a few of those, especially on higher difficulties where the damage over time is brutal. Oh, and speaking of the stash, if you have the collector's or complete edition of the game, which includes everyone on PC, don't forget to grab your special bonus items out of the stash as soon as you get to Chainscrape. The Karja Behemoth Elite outfit is actually a really solid option to use early on, but it's nothing like the Shieldweaver armor, which sadly isn't in Forbidden West. You'll notice some other Zero Dawn favorites are missing too, like the Lure Call, but don't worry, you can still easily bait machines over for silent strikes by simply throwing a rock at your feet. Plus, we gained a new stealth mechanic, smoke bombs. You can unlock smoke bombs super early by helping a couple of Oseram near the Dawn Relic Ruin, and you definitely don't want to sleep on these. Popping smoke puts all enemies around you into the confused state, allowing you to regain stealth easily. They're a bit expensive to craft though, so early on I would just use smoke bombs as a panic button, but if you need more, it's better to buy them from merchants instead of crafting them. Okay, let's back up for a second because I want to let you know that Forbidden West does start out a little slow. The tutorial takes a few hours, and then you can easily spend another 5 to 10 or even more hours in the Dawn, which can feel a bit like being confined to a big playpen, sort of like the Embrace in Zero Dawn. But even once you get past the embassy and make your way into No Man's Land, you still have a little ways to go until you're actually in the Forbidden West. So if you're feeling like things are starting out slow, my best advice is to hang in there until you get to the Death's Door main quest, where things start to get much more intriguing. After that, the pace of the story is faster, and pretty much every main quest has something significant and exciting going on. But things are exciting outside of the main story quests as well. You're going to encounter lots of new machines and human enemies out here in the West, and even if you played Zero Dawn on Ultrahard, you're probably going to find that combat is quite a bit harder now. Some of that is due to the learning curve associated with new mechanics like weapon techniques, but enemies are generally just tougher now too. Their melee and ranged attacks will track you much harder and often deal more damage. And even familiar machines now have new attack animations, and their elemental strengths and weaknesses have been adjusted, meaning you'll have to relearn how to fight them a bit. You'll also notice that your early weapons are very weak, which is a byproduct of the new upgrade system. Upgrading gear is really important. Not only does it increase ammo stats and unlock new types, along with unlocking coil slots, but crucially, it also unlocks and upgrades weapon perks, which offer important benefits you'll want to leverage. For example, most weapons now have an overdraw perk, like the Banuk weapons in the Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds DLC. This gives your shot a 15 to 30% damage boost by simply drawing it longer, but overdraw will only work after upgrading a weapon 1 or 2 levels. Plus, just like all other perks, you'll need to upgrade further to get it to its maximum strength. Outfits operate this way too. You need to upgrade them to increase their resistance stats, unlock and upgrade skill perks, and unlock weave slots. But all these gear upgrades require a lot of resources and rare machine components. So you do want to be strategic with which gear you choose to invest in. I have a whole series of videos that details the best gear at each stage of the game to help you with that. You'll notice though that some of the external machine parts needed for upgrades, called key upgrade resources, will actually get destroyed if you don't tear them off before killing the machine. So unlike Zero Dawn, you can't just kill a machine and plan to safely collect all the resources afterwards. You have to be much more strategic and plan to remove those components during the course of combat. Speaking of tearing off components, one of your best tools for doing that is your Hunter Bow, which was true in Zero Dawn as well, but in Zero Dawn, the Hunter Bow worked pretty well as a plain damage weapon too. That's not the case in Forbidden West. Of course, you can deal impact damage with a Hunter Bow, but it's really not effective. If you relied on your Hunter Bow for dealing damage in Zero Dawn like I did, you'll want to break that habit pretty fast. Instead, you'll want to use a Sharpshot Bow or one of the new weapons like a Bolt Blaster or even a Warrior Bow. The other two new weapons are the popular Spike Thrower and the highly underrated Shredder Gauntlets, which are my personal favorite. All the new weapon classes can be very effective once you know how to use them properly, so you don't want to sleep on them, but they do have a bit of a learning curve, so I made masterclass videos for each one. But weapon techniques aren't the only new gear. We've got new elemental ammo to play with as well. You'll encounter acid very early on, but don't get confused thinking this is corruption. Guerrilla reused the corruption symbol from Zero Dawn for acid here in Forbidden West, but acid is totally different. Corruption is now called Berserk, and it has a new red symbol. Acid operates a bit like Frost, reducing the effectiveness of armor plates, though Frost is definitely still the strongest element, since it also gives you a damage multiplier. Shock is still really strong too, but unfortunately, you won't be able to get decent shock weapons until much later. Fire, on the other hand, has been nerfed pretty hard. Most machines are now resistant to it, and the damage over time effect while machines are burning just isn't as effective anymore. Unless you're playing on a difficulty below normal, I honestly wouldn't even bother wasting resources on fire weapons early on. If you want to check out how acid and all the other new elements work, I have a dedicated video where we deep dive them all. Now, weapons can still be equipped with coils, but sadly you can't grind machines to get good ones anymore. Machines do drop a few types of coils, but they aren't anywhere near the best ones. All the best coils now come from two sources: looting specific quest boss machines and purchasing them from hunter merchants, who have a limited inventory that never restocks. So if you're looking for where to get all the good coils, I made a guide along with a spreadsheet database for exactly that. I've got all the outfit weaves in there too, because they also come in limited quantities. At least the good ones do anyway, which are the new skill boosting type. In fact, there's only one copy of each of these in the whole game, and virtually all of them come equipped on an outfit when you buy it. To activate the weave and make it movable to other outfits, you need to upgrade the outfit it came on a few levels. You'll notice the weaves that come on outfits either have a +1 or +2 in their name, which means they'll contribute 1 or 2 points to the associated skill's level. More on skill levels in a second, but there's also some +1 weaves you can buy on their own from Stitcher merchants, like the +1 low health defense weave in Barren Light, which you should definitely grab, by the way. Alright, now let me show you how these skills work. Spread across the 6 skill trees, we now have 4 different types of skills: square-shaped active ones, inverted diamond-shaped weapon techniques, diamond-shaped valor surges, and the little circular passive skills, which are the most important ones. These give you permanent benefits, and each one can operate at multiple levels, maxing out at level 4. Unlocking both nodes in the skill tree will net you 2 levels, but to get level 3 or 4, you'll need to get points from either outfit skill perks or a weave. Now, it is possible to unlock every skill if you do everything in the game, including machine strike matches, and it's great that you can reset skills and reassign your skill points anytime. But when you have limited skill points early on, it's important to pick the right ones. So I've got a series that walks you through the specific ones you should focus on first. Oh, and I almost forgot, another way to boost skills is with the new food mechanic. Food is actually surprisingly useful, especially early on, and it's one of so many more things I wish I'd known when I first started playing. And in this video, we cover all those things to make sure you can get the most out of your playthrough. So I'm gonna head over there right now, and I hope to see you there in just a second.